Good afternoon. My roaring Good afternoon. My Roaring Twenties presentation is on the Red Scare. On November 1917, the Bolsheviks revolted in Russia and established communism. They encouraged laborers internationally to overthrow capitalism and start a new era of communism. Communism is an idea in which society is classless and there is no private ownership. People who believed there should be no government, or anarchists, supported this idea by sending or planting bombs to government officials, public officials, mayors, judges, and the Attorney General. A majority of the anarchists were aliens of the US. This added to the intolerance, inequality, and fear of immigrants. This fear was known as the Red Scare. The fear of the US being overthrown and rebuilt into a communist government increased as European aliens migrated. In late 1919 and early 1920, Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer and his sidekick J. Edgar Hoover commenced what they called the Palmer Raids. Their mission was to round up as many accused communists, radical thinkers, anarchists, and immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe and put them back to where they came from. During these raids, homes were ransacked, offices were damaged, and records were stolen. Most of these places had no weapons nor bombs, people claimed, but because of nativism and comfort towards aliens or immigrants, most victims of these raids were falsely accused and deported. One example of the hardships European immigrants faced were Sacco and Vanzetti. Fernando Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti were Italian immigrants put on trial for an armed robbery and murder of a guard and paymaster on the afternoon of April 15, 1920, in a shoe factory. They professed they were anarchists, but most people believed they were put on trial for their political beliefs instead of the crime because of the shady evidence, which wasn't very solid. They were executed in 1927. Historians still debate on the case. In conclusion, the Red Scare was a fear in the early 1920s, a fear that the US would fall into the hands of communism. But what made the Red Scare internationally famous was the government's act to rid of accused immigrants and the people's feelings against foreigners and radicals, and at what heights they did to accomplish these acts of ignorance, from conducting domestic raids to deporting innocent immigrants. This was the Red Scare during the Roaring Twenties. I'm Miguel Ramirez.